This is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class. Today we're talking about manifesting only you with the game, supposed to be with the game, with game. So we're going to talk about that. We're still talking on the same premise of manifestation and how powerful it is. You missed the past 3 weeks. We've been going on this teaching, talking about it. It's been very helpful. It's been very enlightening. It's been pulling out things inside of you, everyone. We want to make sure we get there. I want to make sure my camera is just not active working. I'm not sure why, but we're going to figure out. There we go. Why is it not working? But today we want to talk about that manifesting only you in the game. Manifesting only you in the game. Nobody else. Only you. So I probably have to repeat this again, but this whole week we're going to be talking about manifesting on you. So today we're going to talk about we stand on this principle that we understand what game is. Game is just strategy to get from one point to the next point. That's what game is. Strategy. Strategy. You figuring out strategy, how to move and how to do what you need to do. But when we talk about manifesting only you, that means that on some level, we go to the next principle that I want you to understand is that everyone is you pressed out. And that's a hard principle when it comes to the game, when it comes to talking to women talking to men, when you come to life, the jobs and situation, that everyone is you pressed out. And that's something that we don't want to face. We don't want to say, hey, you know what? I don't think so. What's going on, Tara? We don't want to really come to grips with, because you're like, no, everyone is not me. That person acting crazy over there is not me. And so I want to buckle down on this week. What's going on, John the W? Buckle down on this week. I'm trying to get there you go, my transitions. I really want to buckle down this week on making sure we understand clearly and precisely with the part manifesting only you. And I think that's something that we all have to look at. I've been doing that all this weekend. I've been taking time to pull back the covers on things that I have been manifesting. And why hasn't it worked? Why has it worked? And why hasn't it worked? And so I want to pull back the covers this week. It may sound redundant to some people, but I wanted to get it in your mind, because this is the thinking class and your spirit of what it really is. So when you're manifesting only you, what's going on? I am that I am. Good to see you in here. So I want to make sure we're on the same page when we come to this. Manifesting only you with game. So there must be a strategy of how to what? Manifest only you. But you first got to take on the principle that everyone is you pressed out. Good, bad, or indifferent, who shows up in your life. I gave some stories last week about the doctor in Hawaii. I gave some stories about things that happened personally in my own life. I'm going to give some stories again coming up this week from my own life, and things that I have manifested and things that didn't work out. So I'm going to share some of the things that didn't work out. And I realized the problem was not the other individual. The problem was what? Within me. So a lot of people can hear the law of attractions, they can hear game, they can hear manifestation, the law of assumption, and whatever you want to call it, that's what you call it. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Oh, that's good. You can put names on it. You can call it the Kabbalah. You can go to the Kabbalah. You can go to the Bible, which I stand by. It's the Bible. So we can go to all these different things, but at the end of the day, it all comes back to you. It comes back to you. It don't come back to anyone else, not your mother, sister, brother, cousin, anybody. It comes back to you. So manifesting only you in the game is the key right here. So when we come and look at only you, we realize that we have to look in the mirror and be honest about what we see, but also honest about what we believe about others and about ourselves. Sometimes the reason why the manifestation is not working or the game is not working for you, is because your belief systems are holding you hostage. You might have heard this before, but I'm repeating it again, are holding you hostage in a cycle where it could work out for you, but your beliefs is saying it's not going to work out for you. Let me say that again. Your belief system about anything, most of all, your belief systems about you and what you deserve and do not deserve is the either holding you hostage or it's making you free. They say that slavery didn't start when putting them in chains. Slavery started when putting the minds of the slaves in chains. So you can take the chains and the fetters off of, say, a particular Black person, but if they still believe that they're slaves, they will be what? Slaves. You can tell a man that he got to sit in the back of the bus. You cannot sit in the front. The laws can change and things can situate around no matter what. That man, because he's been conditioned to believe that he only supposed to sit in the back of the bus, he will sit in the back of the bus. The other example, I think that I can't think of the, I think his last name is I can't think of the author's name, but I'm looking at the book coming to mind. So, right. So you can also tell a man or a woman, this is good, it's only manifesting on you, that you can't come out this door anymore. You better find a way to get out of here another way. That man will find a way to either stay in that position or make a door so that he can leave. It all starts in what you believe about yourself. I know you didn't heard everything else. I know you didn't heard the game from the Himalayas and they came back and brought some Himalayan salt with you, pink salt with you. But the reality of it is it breaks down to this. What do you, not what I, not with your mama, not your cousin, not with all them, what do you believe about you? What do you believe about you? And I had to, let's be very clear, I had to go internally and say, what do I really believe about myself? What do I believe about who I really am? What do I believe? That's just, okay. What do I believe about myself? I'm going to figure out why this is not working, but maybe that's it. Okay, why, there we go. What I believe about myself. What do I really believe about Lawrence D. Adams? And what I had to do is I had to go on an excavation and look and say, you know what? I believe this about women, about money, about sex, about cars, about homes and things like that. But do these beliefs serve me or are they hindering me? I'm going to get some techniques at the end of you better listen to the end. I'm going to get some techniques I just learned this week. Just matter of fact, just yesterday. But does these beliefs about who I am, are they true or are they false? Or are they some kind of fairy tale Disney world? You know, I'm in a small world after all. What do I really believe about myself? And I give an example. When I'm with my sons, they were younger. I tell them when we in the car driving to the ball, I guarantee, I used to tell them I was so cold with it. I said, I guarantee I run into somebody I know. Sure enough, we walking and moving and grooving, walking through the mall. I'm teaching them how to walk in the mall like they own it. Pay attention. Don't walk like you downtrodden or like you about to steal something. No, walk like you own this mall. This your mall and people shopping at your mall. You own it. So we would walk around like that. I teach them how to hold their head up, how to shake hands with another man. You look them eye to eye. Don't you ever look down to another person. You look straight them eye to eye. So we walking around. You know, they want to get some shoes. They want to look at this, some clothes, whatever the case may be. And I say, I walk, and then bam, I run right into somebody I know. And they look like, Dad, for real? They don't say nothing, but they just look like, this dude said he would what? He would see somebody, as soon as I finish talking with them, we go over here, maybe get sit down and get something to eat. Somebody else pops up. Boom. Somebody else I know. It is because what I believed about myself. I believe that Lawrence D. Adams has the ability to what? Meet everywhere he goes, he's going to see somebody he knows. Everywhere he goes, he's going to see someone that he knows. So your beliefs about you, not what somebody said on these YouTube streets, none of that. It all comes back to you. And this is the hard pill I think a lot of people have when it comes to this. They don't want to look in the mirror and look at it and be real honest with themselves. Your beliefs are tying you up. They're holding you up. There's no problem with you having money. There's no problem you finding the right person for you. There's no problem you living in a certain, it is all contingent on what you believe about yourself. So I'm going to give a technique, probably about 110 on what you can do. Some of you don't even believe that you're even worthy of having the best or even having the place that you stay in. And let me uncover some things. So I had to do that this weekend. I got into my blue chair that you can see just in the backgrounds over there. Got into my blue chair. I said, you know what? When I looked over the canvas of my life, I said, you know what, LDA? I believe that if I get something, that I'm going to lose something. I got to get my own. I believe that if I got something, that I was going to lose it because I never believed I deserved it. Let me say that again, because some of y'all are like, what the hell? Not you, LDA. I believe that if I got a good girl and whatever the case may be, we rocking and rolling, we doing our thing. On some level, I feel like I was going to lose it. So what I have to do is change that belief that what's mine is mine. It ain't going nowhere unless we choose to. Completely change my belief. Therefore, it changes what I manifest in my life. So the problem is not that the game is flawed, and you need to listen to that video that I did this weekend in the car. The game is not flawed. It is your belief about you that is flawed. The volume is echoing. Okay. Let's see what it. Oh, I know. So what you was picking up, there we go. You should be able to hear Lawrence D. Adams put a number 2 if you can hear me loud and clear. What you say now? No volume, can't hear you. You can hear me, put a number 2 in the chat room. Thank you. Good. I know what it was. And with the echo you was getting the other mic in the background was picking up like, hey. So back to what I was saying about the game. So the game, when you hear game, everybody get excited. Yeah, they 10 toes down, hat to the side, The game is not flawed. It is perfect. It is what you believed about yourself that needs to be adjusted. So when I was giving back to the story, I believed that if I got something good, that I was going to lose it. And the only reason why I believed that I was going to lose it is because I felt that I didn't deserve it. And so me not deserving it, what caused it to, it called my belief became what? True. My belief about myself came true. So when it came to a relationship, found a girl, she nice. I mean, boom, 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 everything going good. But then I would go on a place and self-sabotage because I never believed that I deserved what? Her in the first place. And so what men do, and I'm talking to you brothers, I'm talking to you, you start going to lower hanging fruit. Man, this is some real game. You start going to lower hanging fruit because you don't believe you deserve to have the woman of your dreams or the woman that you desire. So you start dealing with booger wolves and hobbits and things you can't bring out in the daytime. You start dealing with that. Same with women. You start dealing with guys who you can only deal with, at nighttime because you believed that you did not deserve to have a woman, say for the guys who have a woman that's beautiful, intelligent, cooperative, feminine, sexy. You don't believe that. And if you did get it and you use an ounce of game, a little smidgen of game, you would lose it. And it wasn't the game's fault. It was because you didn't believe that you deserved it. You did not believe that you deserve to have that type of woman. I always give the example of my car. I drove a Kia Seltos. I drove a Kia Forte. I drove it like it was a Mercedes. I had a Kia Seltos. I drove it like it was a Mercedes truck. So by the time I got into the Genesis, guess what? My belief said, you know what? You belong here. It is you. It was a smooth transition. But if I didn't believe that I deserved that Kia Seltos, somehow, some way, there will always be money for me not to pay the bill. The insurance would act up. The car would start coughing out of nowhere. Somebody would say, hey, but all these things will happen because I begin to create them from my belief. And now we're talking about manifestation. So no matter what game I use, it was my belief that what? Oh, I don't deserve this. So when I begin to change my beliefs, say, no, I deserve this. Everyone who sees me next to that car in my car said, oh, that's you. Why did they believe it's me? Because I reflected and said, oh, that's me. I'm saying to you right now, the real issue is not the game. Manifesting only you. So you really look at this. So when I said I had to go back and adjust, what did Lawrence D. Adams do to adjust to believe that he was deserving of, say, a particular young lady or a particular car or a particular piece of property or a particular lifestyle or to have stability in my life? What did I have to do? I had to really pull back the covers. I couldn't pull out every situation, but I had to pinpoint one situation says, okay, let me be real. Let me be transparent. Yeah, it's me. I'm the one running them away. I can attract them like honey, but then I would start messing up and I would mess up and cause them to run away no matter how much game. And I got game, baby. I got game. No matter how much game I have, guess what's going to happen? They're going to run away because of my belief of myself. If this is resonating with you, let me know in the chat room. Because of my what? Belief of myself. The only person that's sticking you up in the corner is you. The only one that says, stick them up, kid, is you. This is resonating with you, let me know. That's why you can know all this game and it don't work. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it was the pimp of all pimps of Fillmore Slim came in here and dropped some stuff on here. If Kenny Red, if Bishop Don Juan came on, if the ones who've been doing this, I know some people came in here, guess what? Guess what? It will not work for you. It will be exciting. You'll love to hear the stories, but if you don't believe that you are that particular man or that particular woman, all you're going to get is excited. And we know we get excited. and you don't consummate, all you did was mentally masturbating. All you're doing is mentally masturbating. And that's what we got a lot on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and Facebook. We got a lot of people who are mentally masturbating. Ooh, that feels good. But it ain't producing anything. Let me say that again. Too many people mentally masturbating without producing anything. I think I got to click in here to keep this. Why this is going to work. We're going to change cameras. There we go. Too many people doing that. So what you need to do is this. You need to go and think about the situation where you know it didn't work out. It wasn't the law of attraction. Nope. It wasn't that you didn't have the game, because you know the game. The issue was what you believed about yourself. Let's be very clear. If you were to look at your track record, we would gauge it from this point to that point, because I used to run track I used to run outdoor track, and I did a little bit indoor. I didn't like it because I couldn't breathe right. What we would do, we're from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, we would track the progress. Have you actually gone up and increased? Your time, has it gone down? So from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, your scores should be going. You should be running at a certain pace, whatever the case may be, and your numbers should be going down. Many of you have never tracked your numbers, and that's why you're at the same place doing the same thing you were doing at the beginning of the season. You gotta realize it comes to your beliefs. There's a story, I believe, in The Magic of Believing. It's a book called The Magic of Believing. And I can't think of the guy's name, Briscoe or something like that. And I read it when I was young. My father had it in his library, and I read it. It was about a guy who everybody believed that you can run this particular race, and I'm going to make it up because I don't remember, in 2 minutes. So everybody that ran it always came to 2 minutes or 2 minutes afterwards, because that was the record. That was the world record, that you can only run this race in 2 minutes. So everybody, when they came out the race, and that gun go off, boom, everybody running in 2 minutes or a little bit after 2 minutes. Then came a guy out of nowhere. Knew about the record, but he just said, why can't I run it in 1 minute? Everybody like, man, you crazy, man. Ain't nobody run that in 2 minutes. Everybody been running that in 2 minutes. What you talking about, man? You don't know what you talking about. You think you something special because you think you can run it in 1 minute. So the race proceeded, and he ended up running it in 1 minute. Let me tell you what happened when he ran it in 1 minute. Everyone who believed that they were supposed to run it in 2 minutes began to run it at 1 minute. Why? Because they changed what they believed, and they changed their self-image of themselves and said, no, 2 minutes ain't the goal. 1 minute is the goal, and I have to beat that. Is the goal. So that's the thing. Many of you are holding on to a 2 minute situation when you should be running at a what? 1 minute. You should be running, but your beliefs, not the track game has not changed. You get into the blocks. Well, they say the one, and they shoot the gun. What hasn't changed is the game. What's going on, Jono?
What's going on?
What's going on? So I was telling about the story about the guy who everybody ran 2 minutes in this particular race. It's in the book of The Power of Believing Yourself, I believe it is. Everybody ran 2 minutes. But this guy came along and said, why can't I run 1 minute? So he believed that he can run what? 1 minute. Everybody tried to talk it on, you can't do it. 2 minutes is the goal. He came and ran the race in 1 minute. After he ran it in 1 minute, everyone who believed 2 minutes was the goal began to run it at what? 1 minute. Because they what? Their beliefs about themselves changed. Beliefs about themselves change also, and because, and we got to realize the game of track in that track game did not change. Only thing that changed was the belief about the runner in the game.
It's like the threshold was now adjusted. So when you have set a new bar, you're now looking for the results of that new bar set. And all of a sudden, you have now the body knows, hey, I'm behind. I need to now catch up with that.
Right. And that goes for everything in our lives. Like I said, I had to pull some things. I had to go behind like you said, the Wizard of Oz this week and say, hey, wait a minute. Dorothy trying to get home, but the real issue is not Dorothy, it was me. Some things I believed that were not serving me, I had to say, you know what? It was nice knowing you. We had a good run when we ran. I'm gonna give you your flowers right now, but I'm gonna have to let you go.
When we were children, we were always given nursery rhymes and stories because that was the language that we understood, and our parents could get the most out of us by relating to us at the level that we are. Sometimes we haven't realized that our language has changed. So we have to be communicated to at a different level, even as we move onward into our adulthood. Okay. The first 7 years of your life, even though you were growing, that's the first indentation of your cell production. From year 7 to 14, you're a different person. Every cell in the body has been changed. Every physical manifestation of yourself is now a new representation of itself with the programmed DNA from the past. So as you grow every 7 years, because the body does die every 7 years, because the cells rejuvenate, what happens is as you get into your 30s and your 40s, you start to have memory of a more efficient version of yourself, but it is a different language. And sometimes we have to now communicate on a whole new level. And guess what? That means the way you did things before, the way you achieved success before, it may not be achievable on the same level now. It's not that it's difficult because you're getting older. It's definitely more advanced for you. Your language is different. Your behavior is different. Your response is different. It has the program of all the stuff that you succeeded with, all your mistakes, and now when you approach something, you don't approach things the same way. When you go toward the stove to cook your meal, you don't approach it the same way you did the first day your mother showed you how to approach that stove. When you go there now, you know, make sure I check the gas, make sure I check the striker, make sure that the my handle is toward is not facing out, right? It's stuff that we have programmed in our head, procedure of what to do because we know the mistakes that made in the past. So you are approaching things differently with an experience level than you would as a novice.
Mhm.
Okay? And that's what I said, it doesn't make it harder, but it does make it does have your rule book is thicker than most people now. Your rule book got some prerequisites in it.
Mhm.
You know, somebody says, "Oh, hey, we're gonna go put this team together," and you don't just go pick anybody anymore. You already know who to deal with. You
So
already know who is gonna give you, cooperation. Who's gonna give you some mess? You know what I'm saying?
that's interesting. I had to tell you about that offline. You right. That part right there, I had to tell you offline. Something that just happened right before the stream.
I'm not surprised.
Interesting.
I'm not
Interesting.
surprised.
Huh?
See, that's because we learned. Okay, we learned. You even know not to deal with certain people when you want to ask them for cooperation on something. Everybody thinks they're asking for a handout. No, maybe I just want you to be part of something, And maybe it's, I'm thinking about you because this might be in alignment with what you like too, but then next time I'm not going to ask that person because I was trying to be nice to them
Hmm.
and they took my generosity or my, ability to be kind. They took it for granted. Like they wanted something because they don't know how to communicate.
Correct.
And that's the thing. Where are you going to draw the line of repetition, right? When are you going to draw the line between I learned this and I got the T-shirt and I got to move on, or do I have to go jump in the fire again because I am not listening?
All right. And then so if you're jumping in the fire, constantly jumping in the fire, guess, dude, if we were to really break this down, you keep manifesting yourself jumping in the fire because you keep manifest that you don't want to learn the lesson.
Yeah, it takes. It takes. I think it takes rats about 10 times more tries. Rats and mice takes about 10 more tries before they get the habit not to do something that stings them and shocks them. That's basically what happens in a lab. The human could have the same trajectory with stubbornness and just ignorance and just not even paying attention. You know, I give an example of my children so many times. I say, listen, I've been through this. The reason why I even open my mouth is because I don't want you to have the same journey I had. I'm trying to shorten the distance with information that I wasn't provided. I
Right.
wish somebody sat down and told me some of the things I know. I got
Right.
a son who wants to be a technician. I'm trying to show him some of the things and watch him fall into the same exact pit I fell into sometimes.
Mhm.
Why? Because the ego jumps in the middle, and the ego don't care about how many times you want to repeat, especially the young ego.
Oh no.
Young ego does
Woo!
not care that it has to repeat. The
Nope.
young ego does not care that there are consequences. The young ego does not care about time wasted. They'll
Hmm.
come back to you and go, "Oh, sorry." They don't realize your sorry has some consequences behind it. You lost time, you lost energy. And I feel like I wasted my time twice. You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. So I did that with my
as your
youngest son.
father, guess what? You got to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, okay, you get that smile, like, see, I told you so. I was really trying to help you, but you don't want to listen. You feel like a ventriloquist. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
What?
listen, I told you to put the thing over there, and then it would take you half the time. I don't know. Daddy, you said something.
Mm-mm.
No, just repeat it.
Right.
Like,
Repeat that, mother. Repeat that, mother. That's why it's so important, man, that we understand that. I know we've been talking about manifestation for 3 weeks, and it's a reason why for me personally. But on the other side, I think it needs to be talked about in the confines of this space. And what I've noticed since we've been talking about manifestation, guess what's been happening? Everybody else want to talk about manifestation, and it's beautiful. I love it. But you only manifest you. Camera shot I don't like, but
I
you.
say it like this: if you think you have it all, that's a clear sign that you're comfortable. If you also feel like what your definition of it all is the limit of what you have already achieved, then there's also a clear sign that things are not correct. We were put here to create. There's a certain reason why when we were created, in the order we were created, there's a certain reason why you came at that step. And it's because you were not supposed to be the created, you were supposed to be the creator. And
Mm-mm.
it took longer for you to be created because you were going to be made in the image and the likeness of your father. So what happens is if you're the image and the likeness of your father, that means you are supposed to manifest. You are supposed to multiply. You're supposed to be create from nothing. You're supposed to close your eyes in the darkness and see what's supposed to appear in the light. And when you open your eyes, it's supposed to be there in the light because you manifested it. And that's what I'm saying. We're not trying to tell you to be magicians. We're not trying to get you to be Merlin. We're not trying to get you to be soul, what you call it, sorcerer, like from the, from what you call it, Disney or something like that. What we're
Okay.
trying to do is tell you that you have the ability to create a reality that
Yes.
includes the things that you thought you had, but now you can manifest because you are it.
That's it. That's it. I'm gonna get a full story, but I manifested a person today. This not today, but what day was that? Saturday. So everybody, we always talking about when you think about somebody, oh, they just end up calling. I said, Jono, I said, let me test it out and let me go into my laboratory. Let me go inside and see how this really works. So I thought about a particular person and a situation, and I revisioned the situation, how I wanted it to happen. I did that on Thursday night, and I did it when I get up Friday morning, and I did it Friday night. Saturday, I get a phone call. I'm like, okay, who's this? Hey, what's going on? I'm like, hey, what's going on? I just been thinking about you for the past 2 days. I said, really? Do tell. And I realized when we started talking, when we started talking, guess what happened? I forgot I had did that Thursday night and Friday night. So when she said, I've been thinking about you the past few days, guess what happened? It was a manifestation of what I put in play. Just this Saturday. You got to test this stuff out. You got to realize, like you said, you got to realize that you are the creator.
I mean, think about it like this. If you were about to start a race, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were going to do certain preparatory things, right? You're going to put the right clothes on. You're going to make sure your body's conditioned with maybe some hydration or maybe some electrolytes to make sure you get that energy. You're going to literally focus on maybe the path you're about to run on. You're going to do some things to get ready. And when we talk about manifestation is really supposed to be the end, meaning when things have been created. But manifestation really is in the beginning. Manifestation really has nothing in the very beginning. Manifestation really has just a thought. And what happens is that thought is now being prepared to come to fruition. Okay? You're literally taking what you say you want to bring to fruition, you're speaking it into existence, and then you are now preparing what you want. I'll show you a perfect example. The cake in the box of Duncan Hines is not yet a cake, but you're about to manifest a baked product.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, in the form that it sits, there's no way you can eat that. There's no way you can consume that. But you got to get some things together. Not in more times than many, there are pieces of that particular manifested item that are not yet in front of you. Okay? If I go to the store and get the Duncan Hines cake, I'm going to come home. I'm just going to have a bag of this powdery substance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to have the finished product. Sometimes it requires to pull resources that you yet not are in the grasp of, but you now have to go and draw. And what happens is people think when you draw, you're literally creating on your imagination. Sometimes you're drawing from a resource. It's great how the English language has a combination of where the same name could mean two different things, but if you see it the way I see it, drawing, which would be imagination and whiteboarding, right, could also mean drawing from a resource. So you literally put draw like the way you draw from a faucet, or you draw from a resource like with a particular ingredient you need. So what happens is you may need to not just have the item in front of you and says, okay, well, here you go. I want a cake. I got the box of cake. Here you go. There you go. There's your cake. Well, in the form that it is right now, it is not yet manifested, but you still have it on your whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
You may have even paid for it. I could buy a whole pile of lumber right now and say, well, that's the lumber for the deck. But guess what? The deck is not yet complete, but I paid for it. Why
That's
is it not yet complete? Because you haven't manifested it yet. So some things we pay for
right.
and it's sitting in the toolbox. Some things we pay for is sitting in the storehouse. Sometimes you put your pride, your time, and your energy. Some of you bought that motorcycle, but you didn't get your motorcycle lessons yet. Some of you go and get your CDL, but you have not yet drove a truck. What happens is you done paid for it, but it's still sitting there. You haven't manifested it. And what I'm trying to show you is the manifested is to bring it to fruition, bring it to completion. Okay? Some of you women you never brought to completion. Okay, let me stop that. Okay, so you have somebody, but they never brought to fruition. So the issue is, where are you actually taking the energy?
Mhm.
Some people buy stuff and never use it. You know that?
Oh, shoot, yeah.
Some people buy clothes and
Never
put it in
wear
the
it.
closet and never wear it.
Never.
Some people put obligations on other people that were never a priority. That's like, the whole battery in the back syndrome. It's
Yeah.
because what we like to do is trigger. And we have had a false positive when it comes to what we feel we want to trigger in our lives, because we think we always need to be starting something. You know, like that Michael Jackson song.
Want to be a star in the
You want
sun.
to be starting something, but you ain't want to be manifesting nothing.
Oh, wait a minute, right there. You want to be a star in something, but you don't want to manifest nothing. You don't want to manifest nothing. Matter of fact, let me say this. You are manifesting nothing.
True. People feel like, oh, I started that, so but because it's half finished, has it really been brought to fruition? I get really upset at half. I call it half-ass work. I know that word may not be appropriate in some cases, but that's the truth. That's the only way to say it. Don't do things half-assed.
Right.
You do things half-assed, you should get half the pay. You should get half the reward. Somebody think that, oh, well, I pushed it down the road and, well, the momentum kind of stopped like halfway down. But well, then you didn't push it enough. You didn't get it to fruition. Why are you less interested in saying you made an attempt at it? You're more interested in saying you made an attempt at it than you actually did to complete it. I like to finish things. I like to see the end. Okay, I feel like every time I saw the movie The Matrix, when the oracles talked about the end, it's like you could see that the whole movie had to come to a conclusion, because she said, "In the end,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I see." And
Mm.
what you got to be able to say that in your mind. I know cheap references or tacky references. I'm a dad, so I'm always gonna have some weird dad joke stuff. But I'm just saying, you have to think about the end.
Mhm.
Okay, the end is the manifested item. The end is the reason why you did all this work. The end is the completed product and the label of success. It's not the fact that you started. Imagine if you walk down the street and you said, well, I'm gonna just stop right here and I live here now because I don't feel like getting all the way home. My journey ended here. Maybe the person who lives at this address will give me their keys. Maybe I can walk in their house and rest for a while. No, the goal was to have a circular return in that particular journey. You had to make it back home to be at home. You had to go a certain distance inside what you feel your capabilities were, but you also had to also plan to get back from that journey. That was the manifestation of that particular journey. That's the goal. The goal was not to stop in the middle. The
Never.
goal was not to do a 5-mile walk and then at 2.5 take an Uber. And that's what we have. We have a lot of unmanifested or not brought to fruition dreams and goals, and we have given ourselves resistance. The body, when it goes into diabetes, they develop something called insulin resistance. You done failed so much of this, you have a resistance for success.
Mm.
Are you success resistant? You haven't seen success in so long, you don't know what it looks like. So what you think is trying, you lying. That's all I tell people. Oh, I tried. I tried.
Try really weak word.
That rhymes so much with the word lie.
It
Trying
is.
and you lying.
You didn't really put forth the effort.
That's not fair, John. You ain't supposed to say, tell me, listen, they did their best. Oh, well, their best is to not finish. Their best is to come up short. Their best is to not be on the team where they would ever get picked again. That's your best. No, what you have to do is get to the goal. You have to finish. You have to bring things to fruition. And what I tell people is do it on a small scale. Don't challenge yourself with the large tasks. If I told you to go get in a semi truck right now and give me a multi-point turn on a certain radius, you would look at me like I was crazy. But if you did the practice in a small environment, controlled environment with a good instructor, in a week or two, you'd have it down packed. And what people do, they never practice on a small scale. They just assume challenges can't be brought to fruition.
Mhm.
You cannot get credit for a car before you have a cell phone bill with a contract. Tell me, am I wrong? Am I right?
You cannot.
It's not
It
because
doesn't
that's
work
the
that way.
rules. That's the way you practice. Okay? When I had a beeper back in the day, I had a contract, right? Now I'm thinking
Mhm.
to myself, right? You had a beeper, you had a contract. That contract was on my credit. And it sat there, whether I paid the bill or not. It was a reflection of what I paid. Okay? Then you get to the cell phone bill. That's a new reflection. Okay? Then you get your first $100 credit card. Your 150, your 200, your 500, your 1,000, your 20,000. You start get trusted with more and more credit. Now, depending on what percentage you use over the years, hopefully not going past 75% of your available, it will give you more affordability. Your income and your affordability will build what is called credit. But there's no way, if you never use your credit, you're going to walk into the Rolls Royce dealership
Can't
and
do
say,
it.
lease me this $6,500 a month car. It's out of order.
Mhm.
It's out of order. I don't care if you're the Kardashians. Somebody had to build that credit.
In order to get it.
Okay. And the only way to get the name to work more than your money. Okay. You want your name to work more than your score? My name's starting to work more than my score. My score always stayed down because of how much my debt to cost ratio was. So banks overlook that sometimes. Oh, they see 6 something, whatever. They start to say, okay, well, what's on your core? Let's look at the report. They start seeing all the loans and all the different places I've been allowed an extended credit. What happens is the problem that people start to see is they can't look at the standard that everybody else is judged by. You got to be judged on your standard. They start making a whole new playing field for you because they can see your real history. They can see why you may have had a disagreement with a creditor. They can see why you're doing this and that. And then eventually it'll work something out for you, even if you have what is considered not so,
Pristine credit.
yeah, exactly. Never had
When
a
we-
problem getting what I needed. I'm telling you, I've never had.
Right.
I don't think my score's ever been more into the low sevens or high sixes. Never, 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 never in life. And you've seen what I purchased.
Oh
You've
yeah,
seen it.
I've seen it.
Because at
I
some point,
witnessed.
somebody in the back room, those underwriters start to look at it and say, this guy's the real deal. Why would he have this kind of cash flow with these kind of numbers? He's really utilizing his stuff at a
Right.
higher percentage than most people. Okay? If I had a car that goes, of course, I'm going to stay within the speed limits, of course. Everybody stay safe. If I had a car that could do 180 and I was sitting around doing 25 all the time, that to me is not efficient use of the purchase that I made. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You should be finding a way, a safe way, go to the track, go wherever, and take advantage of what you purchased. You see what I'm saying? To its full potential. And are we using our life, our credit, our ability, our ability to manifest to its full potential? Or are we still buying Cracker Jacks with our credit?
Mm, very true. That's what I'm saying. And that's why, and it links up to what I said earlier. What is your belief about what you like? What is your What is your belief system saying about you? If you only believe that you're supposed to have Cracker Jacks, baby, they're going to be at your front door with the Cracker Jack box delivered you from Amazon. But if you believe that if you believe about yourself, let me say that again, because I need to make sure I just clear. What you believe about yourself has to change. That when you change what you believe about yourself, guess what's going to happen? It's going to change what you manifest in your life. And I'm living proof of it. I had to do some work this weekend. I'm not gonna front. Everybody can be on here in front like, man, I got it all together. I did this. Nah, bro. Nah. LDA had to do some work. His beliefs about something was completely jacked up. Think about the belief. Remember, I was comfortable in the Kia Seltos. Hey, man, that's all right. It rides. But when I got, right?
It's harder for us. It's harder. You know what it is? Listen to me. It's harder for the initiated. It's harder for the people who know. We need a different kind of kick in the behind.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have a responsibility level that is literally greater than the naive and the ignorant. Okay? Because you know better. Mm-hmm. And you still do wrong. We need a different kind of kick in the behind. Mm-hmm. And what happens is you literally got to get yelled at sometimes. You literally got to get something coming at you from a direction that you say, wait, where does this person think they come from? It's not their fault. It's your fault. Because your subconscious was telling you, you're not listening. So I'm going to give it to you in a person that you would not expect it from. You know better. You know better. You should be completing better. You should be succeeding better. I'll show you. How about you? I'll show you somebody younger than you.
Oh, whoa! Whoa! Wait a minute. I got to get the claps on this because I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Say that again. For those in the back of the room.
I'll show you somebody younger than you doing it. And I'm gonna say the word unconscious because we understand conscious and unconscious here, but they could be unconsciously successful. They don't even know how they got there, and they running circles around you. And they sitting there with the level of naivety. You know, when you think about life numbers, they're on life number 1 and 2 if you do their numerology. Here it is, you on 6 and 7. You should have been past them. But you got to understand the genius mindset is also the genius downfall sometimes. Mm-hmm. Because you're so darn smart at what you think you could do, you done painted yourself in a corner because you done overthought so many things. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do the same thing. I got the camera here, I got this camera there, and I still like, why haven't I put up a video yet? Because I'm overthinking it. I done talked myself out of so many things in this particular platform, and I already proved it to myself. So now I'm going through the whole evaluation process again. Like, listen, you're too comfortable. Maybe you're too comfortable with what you got. Maybe you're too comfortable with what you're dealing with. Maybe somebody's making you feel so comfortable that you don't think that you need to jump out. And now you're gonna hit rock bottom. You're gonna hit rock bottom without knowing it. Okay? Some of y'all never had to wear a helmet. So when you hit the wall without the helmet on, you're gonna realize why you have a concussion. And hopefully you don't crack your head open and die. Some people don't wear the helmet until they get done hit their head first. Mm-hmm. And those are all those smart people, okay? I rode my bike my entire childhood until one day I was so smart, I didn't think there was going to be a little crack in the same street I rode up and down every day. You know, after the snow, you get these things called potholes. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you could be driving all winter and never saw this pothole, but as soon as the plow going to rip the asphalt up, what happens is you now have a pothole. It could take out a tire of a car. Imagine a person on a 10-speed bike. This thing could literally flip you and turn your front wheel into a fortune cookie. It happened to me in my teenage years. I hit my head so hard when I hit that pothole that my friend said I carried the bike inside, and I never remembered this happening. And I sat in the chair in the house, but my face tore up to the side because I slid on the floor, so on the concrete. You know, in Brooklyn, there's nothing but concrete street, concrete sidewalk.
Yeah.
Whatever you hit is gonna be hitting hard. Nothing soft.
Right.
In the city. So my mom, okay, well, we're going to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. I literally didn't know what the heck was going on. They went to the emergency room. They started plugging me and looking for internal injuries. They started testing me all over my body, everywhere. I got like 9 different blood test shots trying to prove which organ is failing if there is some internal damage. What I learned that day was that you could be the most skilled person. The most skilled person is first skilled in what is gonna happen that you don't expect to happen. Okay? You gotta be skilled at what is not expected when you're dealing with the highest of skill levels. When my dad taught me how to brake, when it came to using the brakes in the car, he said, do not brake because of what you see the brake lights in front of you. That's not the time to brake. The time to brake is because you look through the windows of several cars ahead and you watch that guy brake and you watch the next guy brake and you see the order of the brake lights. What happens is you will then determine the timing because the guy at the end, he may not be looking the same way you're looking.
Right.
Brake harder, and then you have to brake even harder than him because of his irresponsibility. What you're watching out for when you become the best and skilled of drivers, the best and skilled of anybody in any type of sport or activity, you're looking for what you already know against what they are not paying attention to. Not all actions are avoidable, but you can see the warning signs in a lot of the cases. And if you were just paying attention, and you will know what not to do as opposed to just what to do. Not all actions are your fault.
Yeah. That's why we're talking about manifesting only you is supposed to be in the game. Manifesting only you in the game. And all you've been doing for the past this is 3rd week. We've been doing Slick Rick. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the greatest of them all? It was a rumble dumble. 5 minutes or less. And what did he say? You are, you conceited. That's all we doing.
You can't be for anyone else until you are for yourself first.
Well, dude, I don't know. If you're ready for the technique I'm about to give today, put a number 3 in the chat room because it's going based on what Jono just said. You want this technique I'm about to give. You can't be for anybody else unless you are for yourself. Put a number 3 in the chat room. You ready for this technique? And this is something I just learned, but it's powerful. I know it, but it's like, I'll be the first one to do it. It must be sleeping there.
You know, it's rooted in selfishness because people think that first term is the selfish part. Do for you first. Well, you should be about your all of mankind and blah, blah. No. We didn't say we weren't. We're talking about the order. When you're on the plane, they tell you put your mask on first, then help somebody else because they don't want, if everybody was helping everybody else, everybody would die. If you help the next man and not you first, there'll be a lot more deaths. You get it? You got to do for you first so you can help someone else. It's not the wrong order. It's so that you will be able to help someone else. How does the philanthropist help anybody? He first had to build a budget for philanthropy. You get it?
That's just how it works. We overlook it trying to be spooky wooky and I'm going to manifest this and you ain't that. So let me give you this technique. And I just learned it yesterday. It's just a technique. So don't be getting all crazy, DM me, asking me crazy. Well, how you doing, man? What did I need to do this? I want you to do is get your phone and find a good picture of yourself. I just learned this yesterday, John. It's crazy. Find a good picture of yourself. And you might be smiling, you might be acting cool, whatever the case may be, not with nobody else in it, but just you. What you do is during the course of the day, you don't yell at the picture of yourself. You begin to speak to the picture of yourself. And you begin to tell up, you know what, you the man, or if you don't, you're the man, you the woman, if you is a woman. You know what, you're the one. You begin to say that everything that you think you want to others, you say to yourself first. This is what John said. And what you do is you do this in the morning, night, whenever the case may be. You don't force this. Let me say this, just have fun with it. Don't be like, oh, I gotta look at the picture. Oh my God, you like Macho Man Savage. Oh, wow, look at you. No, just look at the picture of yourself and say, you know what? I'm it. I'm the one. I'm attractive. I love who I am. I like the way I walk and talk. Say it to your picture, not to the girl, for the guys, and not to the man. You say it to yourself. Because what Jono said right before that said is what? If you, in so many words, you have to give to yourself what? First, before you can even give to others. So you got to do. So what you do is take the picture of yourself and begin to talk to. I know it sounds crazy. I know people got the mirror techniques and all like that, but you take the picture and you say, hey, you know what? You make money like crazy. You know you're a manifesting genius. You talk confidently and you can just sort of whisper, like let me whisper this in your ear. You know how you talk to a girl, like, let me tell you something, girl. But you say it to the picture of yourself. See what happens when you begin to do that. This is Monday. Don't force it. Have fun. Let me emphasize, have fun with it. Don't say, did I do it at 3 o'clock? Oh, I forgot to do it. I got to do it tonight. Don't make it a strain. Make it fun. And watch what will happen in the world around you. John just gave the principle right before it because you're giving to yourself.
It's about rejuvenation if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Pouring back into yourself. A lot of us take our whole day and we're always emitting and we're always expressing to others. But sometimes you have to put yourself some self-attention. And the only attention we give ourselves sometimes is the outward appearance for what other people are going to see. That's not self-attention. We make a big mistake doing that. Oh, I'm going to go comb my hair. That's for someone else to see. Oh, I'm going to go and, do all these beauty care and whatever. That's so that you can make your appearance different for others. But what I'm trying to prove to you is that when you do it for yourself, the self-maintenance, okay? And so some of the self-maintenance may just be triggering an emotional response, like a laugh or love or a cry or, an understanding, basically rejuvenating yourself is maintenance that we often ignore.
Whew.
We ignore the self-maintenance. Some of you been on a diet so long, you stopped in figuring out what the goal was.
Right.
You trying to please other people with the diet. You trying to please other people with your food. You're miserable. I was in the spot the other day. I said, just give me a rum and Coke. I hadn't had soda in so long.
Right.
I forgot what it tastes like. I said, you sure? They look at me because I used to get Diet Snapple. I usually try to mix it in with all this little stuff. I'm trying to watch the numbers. I said, just give me a rum and Coke. I was like, and my friend, my best friend Clarence, he was standing next to me. What are you doing?
Right.
I just want to remember what it tastes like for what I really wanted.
Yes.
I've been manipulating myself. I've been tricking myself into saying this is what I want when it's not true. It's not true.
Dude, if they ever catch me, we talking about, baby, you on the money.
Sometimes you gotta look at something like, why am I putting time and money to it? I don't like this.
Right.
We trick ourselves because we're thinking discipline and steadfast, stay on this track, you're going to get the goal. Sometimes the goal is remembering what the goal is.
Man,
We forget sometimes in the trenches.
right, you do.
Like I said, I had somebody come right at me that I didn't expect. But I knew the universe was giving me a lesson. It was going to be younger. And you know what the most important part of this relationship was? They weren't in my situation, but they could look on top of it and take easy shots at what's wrong with it.
Mhm.
If somebody could look at you and just say, oh, come on, just do this, and start taking easy shots at your situation, you are in too deep.
Mhm.
You are overthinking, you are over-evaluating, you are not getting on top of it. You are in it too deep. You're not manifesting. What you
No.
are is you're stuck in it.
Mhm. And that's
You're over enamored and you're over involved and you're overthinking. You're in too deep.
mhm.
Sometimes you got to pull out, get out and up on top of the situation and look at it. Some of you been in a maze you could see the top of the whole time. Imagine when you walk into a maze and somebody just picked you up and let you see the top. And you say, oh yeah, all I have to do is turn that way. It's because you're lost in it.
Just like
You're
you said.
overthinking it. And you're stuck in it. Get out of it.
Yeah.
You have the power to pull yourself out of it and then look on top and see the end. Get through it.
Get through it, dude. We didn't give you the technique. I keep hearing Tevin Campbell. You is saying to you, can we talk? I ain't gonna sing it for a minute. I want to know your name. You look, dude. If you do what we say do on here, take the picture of yourself.
You just said with the picture, it realigns what the goal is. Think about it. Who is this person I'm looking at? Who is this? Is this the same person that's trying to get to this goal? Or am I somebody else? Am I tricking myself?
That's it.
But if you don't ever take out the picture, how are you supposed to have the reflection of the situation impacting you and saying, what do I do?
Dude, you can't make this up anywhere, baby. Dude.
Some of you have been doing things for other people so long, you don't realize how easy it is to take care of yourself.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, I'm absolutely not trying to help you be selfish. What I'm trying to get you to realize is that when you pour out to 10, 20 different people in your life, and you don't realize all that energy could have been used to take care of yourself to get you to a new plateau, you have now robbed your ability to help 100 people.
That's it.
Stop helping the 10, 20 people that never gave it back to you.
Mm.
You could pull all that energy back within and come up with a way to be philanthropic to 100 people who would appreciate you. Stop feeding the 4 past people that you didn't like and keep convincing yourselves, oh, I got that situation. They were the worst thing in my life, but you attracted them towards you, right?
Bingo.
And you can pull all that energy back from all your past woes and all your past transgressions and all your past mishaps and failures. You can focus all that attention on the one next future person and pull out a W.
It's on you. I'm telling you. And so are all my Bible thumpers who say we're not in the Bible, because I hear you in the background. In the Bible, in the Old Testaments, what did David did when he was in a situation? David encouraged himself. Is that in the Bible?
Yeah.
All I'm telling you, get the phone, get a good picture of you smiling or looking cool or looking sexy, whatever, and encourage yourself with your picture. I'm in the Bible. So all you Bible thumpers and he's talking some magic, hika poko, mama say mama sakusa. No, I'm in the book. Go pour back, like John said, go pour back into you.
It's so you can manifest for others. It's not to take it away from anybody. And that's what the first I feel like the first defense is every time. Oh, well, why you want to, internal, blah, blah, blah. I never did this for the rest. You can tell you never did nothing for yourself. We can tell you always giving to other people. You're looking drained. You're looking burnt out. I had to say it to myself the other day, it's not that I'm not good at this. I'm not trying to do this or whatever. I just had to sit there and just shout the words. I'm burnt out, man. I don't want to do. I just don't want to do that particular thing that way anymore. I just don't want to do it.
Mhm.
When I got into a full major car crash about 4 years ago, 4 Januaries ago, listen, I ain't ready to drive yet. I got 3 cars I can drive. The insurance company gonna buy me another one. I just don't feel like driving it. And the guy on the phone said, listen, man, you don't gotta explain that to me. There's nothing that could convince you. It took me till what? I think March. The accident was on the 2nd of January. It took me till March. I was still taking Ubers. I didn't care. I was running up the Uber bill and I was paying notes and insurance and everything. I didn't care. I didn't care. I said, I gotta be ready. I gotta be ready. And when I feel like it, I'll do it. Same thing with the videos. If I feel like I'm gonna do it's because I've been absorbing so much. And I want to be my own identity that I already know my habit of I would say what's called overthinking, like I just said. And now I know that there will be what's going to be manifested and what's going to be coming to fruition. I already see how easy it is. It's not about being easy. It's about getting out of the thick of it, getting on top of it, see the issue, and then go ahead and execute the. And like I said, it will come from somebody who will make you mad because it's somebody you're like, I shouldn't be listening to this person. No, you should be. Because if they got to the conclusion before you did and they simplified it better than you could, you still ain't doing something right.
Still ain't doing something right. Telling you. Dude, John, when I heard the technique yesterday, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna just be real clear. We can hear all kind of stuff, but until we practice it, I went to bed practicing it. I woke up this morning and looked at the picture of me. I got a picture of me posing like this, GQ style. And I had to pour back into me because I didn't realize, like you said, I didn't realize how much I give out. I had some situations happen this weekend, some good things and something tragic happened. So it's like all the emotional stuff is like poured out and things like that. You got to know how to pour back into you. Trying to help somebody. This is real game. And then what happens is, I hate to get weak, man. We at 143. You stop looking for it on the outside of you because you already gave it to you on the inside of you.
That's how you lost your way.
Oh,
You didn't lose your way. You didn't lose your way doing it the right way. Lost your way all the way by doing it all the way wrong.
This girl is going to make me feel good. This girl is going to make me do this. When I get this particular girl, or when I get this particular game, or when I hear this, what have you given yourself? Ain't no girl in the world, ain't no game that you can hear ain't going to work until you realize that you need to work on you. Oh, that's this, man. It's plain and simple. Plain and simple. Take the technique, get a phone, get your phone. You don't have a phone, get a picture, find some picture of you and begin to talk to yourself. Begin to talk to the picture like it was somebody. It's you. It's in the Bible. So all you Bible thumpers, and all that kind of stuff is in the Bible. David encouraged himself. What I'm doing is encourage you to, I am giving you permission to encourage and pour back into yourself. Watch when you do this for a week. If you do it for 28 days, see how your whole environment, how people begin to treat you differently. Most of all, see how you begin to treat yourself differently. Like the song, country song said, looking for love in all the wrong places instead of looking for love from you.
Yeah. That's what we're all trying to do is get to the best version of ourselves. Sometimes you gotta look at when you take a picture, right? Want to hear something funny about a picture?
Uh-huh.
When we take a picture, we try to fix ourselves in that moment, right?
Mhm.
To be the best representation of ourselves because we know it will be etched in history, right? So when you speak to your picture or when you start focusing on your picture, you're actually focusing on what you considered at that moment to be the best version of yourself at that moment.
Come on.
And what the picture should remind you of is that you should always be for yourself in your best moment.
Come on.
The picture reminds you to get ready. The picture reminds you to be at attention and do something because the way you are going to be depicted at that moment is going to be very important. That's why people don't want to be looking like their eyes are when I close. They don't want to be looking like they're staring off in the wrong direction. They want to make sure they're focused and at attention. And the picture will represent how you were paying attention in that moment.
Dude, right there, that right there. And we had not talked about this at all, John, did we? And you know I was going to bring this technique up. And I got another one, but that one might be too much. I got another technique. I may bring that to be a Thursday, maybe. But that technique right here, what you just said, encapsulate what we're saying here, the thinking class. This is real game. Take the picture, like John said. And if you don't have any pictures of you when you're looking right, take a picture of yourself and really speak to you. If this is resonating with you, we got to go. There's no angel number for this one. No angel number. If this is resonating with you, put a number 3 in the chat room. And I'm going to be the first one to put a 3 in the chat room. But yeah, this right here, this is classic right here. No one's telling you to do that. To take the time, take a picture. And sometimes you got to look at the picture and say, I just love you. Like Fear Soul said, he looked at the picture how he looked when he had dreads and slinky body, and I can't believe who that guy was or is. So true. Like we said, this is not about you don't come on here. They're talking about being narcissists. Don't even come with that sugar honey iced tea over here. This is about showing you love.
Actually, narcissism is doing outward actions with self-gain. And that's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Narcissism is doing outward actions with only you in mind. That's narcissism, not considering others, not considering what you're doing when you are performing outward actions. But what we're trying to tell you to do is go within on all these actions. These are all within for yourself in the moment for yourself so that you can be a better you when you do perform outward actions.
That's what we're saying. And we want to know, I know what we haven't did, and I'm guilty of it. I'm no more. When you do this technique, please do it in the morning, when you wake up, at night, doing whatever you might have fun with it. But we want to hear your results of you doing that. If you notice you notice a change of yourself, people around you, whatever the case may be, we want to hear your testimonies. We want to hear your comments about working this technique. I have another technique, but this one right here, when I heard it, I said, I potted it immediately. I said, oh, this is a good one. But this next one, I'll probably share it Thursday or maybe next week. But we want to hear your results. We applied this game, LDA, and this happened. We want to hear that. We want to hear your testimonials of how this has worked for you. With that being said, you got anything else, John? It's 150, man.
I think we covered it.
Yeah, you hit that right on the head about that, dude. With that being said, this is Lawrence D. Adams. This is the Thinking Class, John O. Like we just came out of, you know, the movie like, we just came from out the deep. Peace and beer grease. We out. Yo, that technique is crazy, man. What you think about that, John?
It brings you back within.
Huh?
It brings you back within.
It sure does. Sure does. I got another one, man, but it has to do with something I know you know about, the law of success. Napoleon Hill. But I can't bring that one up yet.
Okay.
Huh?
It's not time.
No, it's not time. No, I can't bring that. I can't like an evil laugh.
You're not ready.
They ain't ready for that. Ooh, that technique, baby. OG, what's going on, man? We got to get together, man. I've been waiting on you. Salute to you. Y'all need to go back and listen to this. Oh, shoot, we still live. Shoot. Right. Uncle Allen. Sorry, Uncle Allen. Man, Uncle Allen gonna get on me. Peace.